Warning: do not attempt to perform any challenge or develop any mindset you are about to see. Viewer discretion is advised. How's everyone doing? I want to I want to talk about what people need to hear. What do you tell someone when they ask you a question? Do you really care about them? Do you tell them the truth, or do you tell them what you think they want to hear, or what would make them feel good in the moment? Now, this is a hard one to think about when you're in the situation. We can sit and talk about what someone needs to hear when it's about them, but what about telling them what they need to hear when it's to them, to their face? Now, the Rare Breed book we talked about the other week, that's a great resource if you're looking into being confrontational and the benefits of it and how to do it right, more in-depth information. And right now, I don't want to talk about being unfiltered. If someone's walking by you on the street, I don't want to get into all that where you're blurting out saying, "Hey, why are you eating that hot dog? That's not healthy." Right? That's not what I want to talk about, because I don't think that's necessarily being the best person if you're, if you're on a mission to go out and get people. What I want to hit on more is the person you say you care about when they come up and ask you a question, or they ask you what you think, and you lie and tell them what they think they need to hear. And it's the easy way out, right? Because if you say, "Yeah, that sounds good," there's no confrontation. There's no you trying to help the person. It's just a simple response of agreement. And I think the best example would be to use people's health with what they're eating. And if someone's always eating unhealthy and they're coming up to you asking you about what to eat or what you think about this food, the tough part is the the real tough part is you may not be doing everything you need to, or I may not be doing everything I need to in that aspect. But what do you tell that person who doesn't know? And this is a tough one because a lot of us don't necessarily do everything we're supposed to. But then we have someone who you care about who's trying to do right. And what do you tell them? And I can't speak for you guys what you do. I don't know what you do now with this talk, what you'll think of it, but you need to tell people the truth, the hard truth, because they're not going to like to hear it, but that's what they need to change. Because if someone is not eating right and you don't tell them what they need to hear, the foods they should eat, the things they should not eat, how are they ever going to change? And that's why this is such a tough topic, because the person you care about, you don't want to make them feel bad, right? But you want them to get better and improve in whatever aspect of life it is. And the way I would look at it is that you not wanting to make them feel bad, that feeling of sadness or anger, it's only in the moment. You confronting them and putting them in a reality they do not want to be in is only momentary. It's only for that day or that hour. until they accept it. But that's what you need to realize. It's temporary. But their future, what you talk to them about to change, whatever area they're doing bad in or they could improve in, their change is going to last for the rest of their life. And that's why it's so important to be bold and be loving, right? If you care about that person, you should want to confront them and tell them the truth so that they will change. And that's a tough thing with arguments, because with a lot of things, I can't speak for you, but what I see a lot is that we have things that we bottle up. When someone does something that we think they should improve on, a lot of people, we won't tell them what they need to improve on or what we think they should. So we let that bottle up. And then another thing happens and we let that bottle up. And then another thing happens and we let that bottle up. And pretty soon we have 100 things that we think this person could improve on that we haven't told them. And where this all unravels is during an argument. People without composure and who can't communicate with each other or debate or have conversations of growth usually results in yelling, right? And anger and all these wild emotions that once someone unleashes one thing that, the straw that broke the camel's back, and they unleash on the other person and say, I can't believe you did that. Well, what happens? Everyone starts a war with, well, you've been doing this and you've been doing that. Well, you've been doing this. And all those things you should have been talking to the person about, you failed to convey to them, and now you decided to do it in a moment of anger. And the problem with this is that it's easy to do in a heated moment because you understand the reason you didn't do it before is because you knew it was going to lead to a strong emotion. The reason I didn't tell someone something is because we're all calm right now. Why am I going to confront them about that and get everyone mad? You were trying to avoid that angry moment. But now, when there's a heated argument and everyone's already angry, what happens? People unleash those thoughts that they've built up inside. And the flaw with that, you could say, right, at least they told them, right? But the problem with that is nothing's going to be solved when people are angry. When people are mad like that and they're in that war mode, just rattling off all these points, that's not the time where something's going to be solved. Because if you can't communicate, how are you going to do it now when it's a yelling battle? And I'm just exaggerating. Maybe it's not a yelling battle. But the better thing to do and the harder thing to do is to confront people when you're calm. And you have to know your audience, how willing they are to communicate. But your best chance of conveying a point with someone is when they're calm. If I have someone sitting across from me and we're having a normal conversation and there's something I've been wanting to talk to them about that I see they could improve on, that's the time to do it. If I see something I didn't like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Not because I don't like it, but it's something you notice that they could improve on. That's the time to do it. And who knows, maybe you guys do that, but it's something I've seen that can be detrimental to people's relationships of how they approach solving or addressing a problem that they want to solve. You don't wait for an argument. It's hard to do when someone's calm, but that's your best chance of doing it. And for one of my last videos, I talked about this idea, and I'm going to say this because some people say, well, even if they're calm, they're going to get mad once I say it, right? They're just going to get mad. It doesn't matter when I tell them. First of all, what's your best chance of getting the point across? Is it when they're all worked up, or is it when they're calm and open? Right? So it's your best chance. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying don't take the wrong approach and wait to unleash all these ideas when there's a heated battle going on. It's not the best time. But if you say that someone's not going to accept it no matter when you tell them, remember this idea that anything you say, anything someone says to me is either a fact or it's made up. So if you're telling me a point and I get mad, am I mad that it's a fact? And in that case, that reveals that maybe they should change it. Maybe they really want to change. And if I get mad or they get mad and it's made up, right? Let's say it's not a fact and it's made up, then why would I ever get mad? So understanding that, anyone should be open to the conversation of growth. I feel like that's just another crutch for me not wanting to tell someone something. The reasons I found it's that you don't want to get them mad. You don't, if you're calm having a normal conversation, who wants to be confrontational? If you have people over and you're all having a great time, who wants to be the one who says, hey, I think you could improve on this? Right? That's hard to do. And it's a tough situation because you want the person to improve. And if you really care about them, you may be the only person telling them what they need to improve on. And if you don't tell them, well, yeah, you say you care about them, but if they're doing something harmful to themselves and they're stuck in that place for the next 10 years, well, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow when they, let's say 10 years later down the road, they come out of it and they start doing what they need to, and they look around them and went, yeah, I was caught in that little trap, but why was no one trying to get me out? So I know that's the reason people don't confront people, because who wants to have conflict? No matter how small, it's a conflicting point to their beliefs, right? That's one reason people don't want to. And another I found, a common one, is that they just don't want to believe the other person's going to communicate about their point. And the sad thing is, so many people say that before they even try to convey that point. And they said, well, I've tried it 10 times, and they don't listen. But those 10 times when you tried it, was it during an argument? Was it when they were already worked up? Was it in response to a point they said against you? And most of the time, that's the case. I've tried it 10 times, 100 times. But have you ever tried it when you're calm? When you have the best intentions to truly help them, not in response to one of their jabs that you took personally because you didn't want to grow. Oh, I don't know. It's tough all around. But I know if you really care about someone, it's hard enough to make myself do things. So having someone else there to keep you on track and tell you the hard things, I can't be mad at them for that. I can only be mad at myself for not doing the things I should have been doing. So it may put you in a tough spot, but in the end, if you truly care about someone, you need to tell them what they need to hear, not just what they want to hear. And as for yourself, be open-minded for when people come and talk to you about things. I love it when people tell me things. No one can ever tell me something bad because I go by the philosophy it's either a fact or it's made up. I'd love for people to talk to me nonstop and make up lies or tell me anything, because for the few that tell the truth, it's going to give me an edge to maybe they reveal something I should be improving on. If I have 98 people lie about me, well, I know it's a lie. It's made up, right? But if I have 2 people tell me something that I'm doing and they tell me a way that I can improve on it, well, I'm going to be happy they came and talked to me. And that could be a root problem that not a lot of people are open-minded. But remember, you don't know if they're open minded or not until you go and talk to them. And don't wait to talk to them when everyone's worked up. So that's the talk. So whatever you got going on, keep pushing at it and tell other people the truth. Disclaimer, don't go out on a mission chasing everyone walking down the street to tell them the truth. But just think about the way you talk to people, how it makes you feel when you lie to them. Tell them the truth, but also tell yourself the truth. Don't lie to yourself, especially when it comes to your dreams and your goals. Every little thing adds up. Don't forget it.